Let's talk about how crappy the game is right now. IE overtuned, Assassin's overtuned, Wild overtuned. Gloves in general are too good. Crit chance is too high. Honestly, I know they're not going to do this, but I hope they change Wild to something like has a 80% chance to ignore dodge. Because with it being 100, it feels like several items. Phantom Dancer, Iceborne Gauntlet, the Yordle class, Shen as a unit are all just nullified completely, which sucks because there's almost no counterplay. Really hope they change Hex Tech. Yeah, I doubt Hex Tech gets changed. They seem comfortable with it. I would love Hex Tech to drop to like 5 or 6 seconds. Right now it's 7. I think honestly, reading this, as we approach the end of set 1, they're probably leaving a lot of stuff that is undesirable and trying to make set 2 much more enjoyable. So mechanics like Phantom and Hex Tech, they're probably steering away from, I would hope. Stuff that feels like, I mean, here's the thing. Phantom feels good when you play it and you hit someone, but it feels really bad when you play against it and it hits your... We should pause the music. When you play against it and it hits your unit, or specifically your carry, it just sucks. But Riot in general seems to be okay with stuff like that because champions exist in the game Summoner's Rift, like Yasuo, where no one likes playing against it, but people like playing as it, and they seem to be fine with that. Alright, let's just hop in. What's up, docs? What? Alright, this isn't worth reading. Based off this isn't worth reading. Alright, EXP to level 5. Okay, so you can hit level 5 earlier now. And level 9. What does this do? I think it accelerates the game a little bit. You can't hyper roll. You have to hyper roll 1 turn earlier if you're gonna hyper roll for knights or shapeshifters, or there's a hyper roll void assassin, blah blah blah. This just means if you are playing the econ game, you can hit level 9 earlier and punish people that go for ideal builds. I like that. One of the ways right now to beat wild assassins is to get really far ahead while they lose on purpose for their ideal items, and then you play what you're given. You go to you econ really hard at the mid game while leveling, and then you hit level 9 while they're level 7. Usually you can end up winning off that. Well, usually you can end up top 4 off of that. I don't know if you can win because the Kali can one-shot your whole team. Tier drop rates. What does this even mean? Okay, so what it means is tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, tier 5s. So tier 5 and tier 4 drop rates go up. So hitting level 8, you have a much... so for instance, last game we had 2 Kales and 2 Yasuos, and rolled a bunch on level 8 and never hit another one. 3% chance increase. Level 9, it's even higher. You're going up to 13, or from 12 to 15, so 3. Probably pretty good. Again, this change plus this change means if you're pushing levels and econing well, you can punish people that lose on purpose and go for ideal items, because you're going to hit legendary units, which can make up for the item gap, which currently feels quite large. Right, items. Deathblade starts with 0 stacks. Now starts with 1 stack. It's viable! I'm just kidding. This item still blows. Wow. Okay. I like this. This is huge. So currently Frozen Heart is quite strong, and it will remain strong. However, it will be less broken for certain units. Right now, it favors assassins completely because they fly over the map and apply it to everyone for 4 seconds. So this now benefits frontliners more because they will be continuously reapplying the buff, whereas assassins just kind of fly over the map, apply it for 4 seconds, kill everyone, pike ults again, and then you apply it for 4 more seconds. So now basically they're shifting the power from assassins and champions like Vi to frontliners, units that are going to survive longer and reapply it, which I think should be the use of the item as opposed to just like a cheese, super long duration. I figured Frozen Heart would get nerfed, but I thought they would nerf the attack speed slow, not the duration. But I actually like this. Infinity Edge. Okay, this isn't the problem. The problem is how... Okay, I mean, I guess I'll take it. The problem is how much crit chance it gives. 20% crit chance plus the base 25. If you get 2 of them, you're at 65. If you run 3 assassins, you're at 75. So, 3 assassins with 2 infinity edges, you're critting 3 out of every 4 autos, plus you usually run it with wild, so you're getting the attack speed buff. And it can't be dodged. Okay, so someone's saying they're slightly nerfing 3 sins too. Okay, that's good. We'll come back to this then and see what it looks like. All right, Quicksilver. This item's pretty bad. I think the intent of this item is to counter stuff like Glacial Rangers. Let's say you have a Draven comp, which traditionally got beat by Rangers because Draven would sit in the corner and get hit by every Ash Arrow. Quicksilver cleanses the Ash Arrow, giving you more damage. It's not being utilized because Rangers are really bad. I can't think of other units that have, CC every 3 seconds or every 5 seconds even. Right now, if you want a defensive item on a carry, you usually would go Trap Claw, because Trap Claw is just way better. It gives health, it gives dodge chance, it gives a stun. This is probably good. This might, I don't know. I still think you won't see Quicksilver much. Okay, good. This item was too good. Thieves' Gloves is way too good. Also, last patch they had Thieves' Gloves, like possessive of a thief. And now it's Thieves' Gloves, like plural, many thieves are using these gloves. I think we can all agree that Riot needs to up the quality of their grammar usage in the patch notes, or we're probably all going to be leaving the game pretty soon. So, Rioters, when you watch this video, tell the higher-ups. The fan base is livid. Alright, traits, Assassins. 75 crit damage, 10% crit chance, 5% crit chance down. Okay. It's still probably a little bit problematic, unless a caller receives a nerf as well. Because the problem is, so the current wild assassin comp is pretty much uncounterable, other than with Ionic Spark, Brawlers, in which case you just build one of 3 items and you're fine. So with 2 Infinity Edges, you'll now have 500% crit multiplier instead of 550, which doesn't change much, right? 500% is insane. Um, and then your crit chance goes from 70 to 65, or sorry, 75 to 70. So still, 70% of the time your auto and your spell is critting if you have a collie. And it's not like you can build Yordles or... You can't build Yordles or Phantom Dancer or Iceborne Gauntlet because the comp naturally has Wild built into it. And as Wild stands, it counters all of that 100% of the time. So right now the best counter to a Collie comps is Trap Claw or Zephyr or both, which feels pretty bad. I hope the Infinity Edge change as well as this will make some dent in the power of the comp. Plus, these will probably indirectly change it because you can push levels on them. But then again, if they high roll it early and win streak, they can just push levels too, so who knows. Okay, Guardian, 10 more armor. Good. Guardian sucks. Guardian is bad because you compromise your positioning against like most compositions for a gain of very little armor that does almost nothing against super high crit chance.
If you put 2 Dragon's Claws on a champion, and they have 160% magic damage reduction, does it heal them when a Collie ults?
Yes. Thankfully.
Perfect counter.
Perfect counter, exactly. So the suggestion was put 2 Dragon's Claws on a unit. They do actually stack. Wait, they might be unique now. I don't actually know. They used to stack, but not additively. It's multiplicatively. So you get 1.75 times 0.75. That's a hard one. So you get... Wait, that goes up to like 96. 1.84? Okay, 1.84. Whatever, who cares? No one does that. Alright, moving on. So this is good. Guardians are really bad, especially since Braum got gutted and they're just not very strong in the meta. An extra 35 armor or 70 armor if you're double stacking them on a carry does not... It just does nothing against the current items. I mean, crit going through this it just does an insane amount. Giant Slayer is true damage. It doesn't matter. I'm kind of surprised. I would like to have seen Giant Slayer go down to 4% or even 3% instead of 5%. Anyways, Gunslinger, 123 to 124. Okay. I thought it was going to be 134, which would be problematic. 124 doesn't seem bad. I think you should be rewarded for getting 6 Gunslingers. It's hard to do. Generally, a Gunslinger build, you're always behind and you're relying on Pirate Gold to catch up. So if you hit MF and Jinx later, having 6 Gunslingers should be better than it currently is. I like this. I was worried if it was going to be 134. Rewarded for having the stones to go 6 slingers, exactly. Alright, Night Buff. I read about this, or I heard about it on PBE. I don't think it changes much. 5 damage isn't much. I think this is what it changes. Certain level 1 champions with no items will now deal like 5 damage. So Ashe has 65 AD at level 1. At level 2 she has like 130. Once you put in armor mitigation, she was probably, all of her autos were getting blocked. Now they'll do probably like 5 to 10 damage. This doesn't change much. Most people just run 4 Knights anyways because the 35 damage mitigation is really strong in the mid game. 6 Knights will still be good, probably just not as prevalent. Okay, Wild, 12 to 10, good. Wild got like 3-peat buffed when it was garbage, and then they shifted a ton of power from RFC to wild buff. And so, what about Five Nights? Five Nights, the patented impeeba Five Nights will still be good. Don't worry. Okay, Aatrox, a little more armor. I actually think Aatrox is quite good and just underutilized. If you stack an Aatrox, he can hammer a team. He's more of a mid-game carry than a late-game carry. He gets dumpstered by stuff like Jinx and Draven late game, obviously, because if you frontline Aatrox, he'll get one-tapped. If you don't frontline him, he doesn't get enough mana to get his ability off efficiently. Nice. Okay, so the wild attack speed nerf as well as the Akali attack speed nerf should hurt her. That's good. I like this. Fiora, 50 more HP. She has really, really low base HP. I don't think this changes anything. Fiora 2 is actually quite good to be an item holder early game for like a mid-game champ. So you can put, you know, Rage Blade, Giant Slayer, Frozen Heart, whatever on her, and then once you hit the level 2 Shen or the level 2 Lucian or the level 2 whatever, you can transfer the items. GP, 5 more ID, he's still really bad. The GP was only good a few patches ago because his base damage on his ability was just really high, and then they gutted it, so 5 AD does nothing. It's not like he's getting that many auto attacks off anyways. Okay, Kai'Sa spell. Kai'Sa was really bad. I keep saying this, but I think they totally overtuned Pantheon, and so when they released a new champion, they're like, let's undertune this one because it's easier to buff than hotfix. Kai'Sa's just bad. The only way I've seen Kai'Sa pop off is Void Ranger, level 2 Kai'Sa with double Frozen Heart Rage Blade. It's so unrealistic. Okay, so let's see, 30, 60, 90 to 50, 75, 100. Pretty significant. 20% on the level 1, 15 on the level 2. You'll never see a level 3 Kai'Sa ever. Kai'Sa shield. 100 more on the level 1, 100 more. Okay. This helps her. I still think she's pretty bad. But we'll see. With power coming off some other meta comps, maybe some type of Void Ranger or Void Assassin build will become viable. Who knows? Leona, 50 more HP. That's good. Lucian, 25 more damage in the spell. You don't really run Lucian for the spell these days. But, whatever. I don't know if this was necessary. He's just a good item holder, and he's pivotal, and like Brawler, Gunslinger comp. Interesting. So I had read that they were nerfing Poppy. This is actually kind of a lot. I wish it would only be 50. I thought for sure they were going to nerf her damage, which I thought was crappy because Poppy is one of the few knights that deals like a good amount of damage. So, I mean, this does hurt her because having 100 less HP means you have less HP to tank, which gives you mana, which gives you ability. If you have 100 less HP, you're less likely to proc 2 abilities, especially with the 6 Knight nerf. So now Poppy's less likely. If you frontline Poppy, she's less likely to get 2 or 3 ults off. Maybe now only 1 or 2. Which a well-positioned Poppy 2 can actually hit a backline unit twice for a good amount of damage. So I'm a little sad about this. I love Poppy. I was a Poppy one trick in League. Volibear, attack speed, 0.5. And the number one comment, guess I just get to keep spamming IEZ since those nerfs, probably autocorrected, look pretty insignificant. A one shot for you, one shot for you. Yep. I still think assassins will be problematic. I mean, we didn't talk about Zed. 25% crit damage doesn't do much to Zed. Zed doesn't really rely on the wild buff. Sometimes you'll run Zed if you see people Ionic Spark stacking instead of Akali. You just go for Zed 3. Yeah, I think Assassins got hit. Infinity Edge, Frozen Heart, Akali attack speed, Wild attack speed, plus other comps are getting more compensation. We'll see. It's hard to know. I still think, maybe it'll still be good, but it won't be oppressive, which is fine. I mean, I complain a lot on my stream about how stupid assassins are, and I really don't have anything against assassin comps. I just want there to be counterplay. And it feels like currently the counterplay is soft at best. I mean, if you build 3 Ionic Sparks to make Akali kill herself, she can go Gunblade. Or if you build a rapid fire cannon on Akali, she won't use her ability, so she won't hurt herself. Pretty stupid. What did they change on the Gunslinger buff? Gunslingers went from 1, 2, 3 extra shots to 1, 2, 4. So if you get 6 Gunslingers, you get an extra shot, which is pretty big. The extra shot procs mana as well, so if you get a Misfortune in with like a Morello, reminder that Misfortune got Giga buffed last patch. Her damage went up like 700 or something crazy like that. So Misfortune getting extra shots off, gaining mana faster, using her ult quicker. You'll probably see a little more Gunslinger. They're pretty... The problem with Gunslinger is you have few units right now, so you usually get obliterated by assassin comps because it's hard to position your carries. Like right now you need bait units on the wings, but with a Gunslinger comp you just don't have enough units, right? You either sacrifice a crucial frontliner to be a bait unit to protect Lucian or Triss, or you just get one tapped by Akali. So not a bad patch. I would have liked to see... Well, we'll have to see how this changes stuff. It should weaken hyper-roll comps and encourage econ. I thought they were going to revert some of the player damage. The problem with the game right now is that player damage is way too low. So you are almost incentivized to lose early on purpose so that you can get the items you want. And you can build too idealistic of comps, whereas people that try to play for the win streak, play what items they're given, are punished because the item gap is really large. So if you're not getting dropped a sword from creeps, you're just never getting one. And you can never build Infinity Edge, Giant Slayer, GA, all of which are S tier items. It's just too hard to keep up if you play, in my opinion, properly, which should be to win and to adapt. Whereas there's people like losing on purpose just to get double Infinity Edge and then rolling hard for Akali at level 7 while everyone's level 8, and then they hit Akali and then they just kill everyone because there's very little counterplay. So I hope this discourages some of that. Getting behind now on purpose may be less, enticing. We'll have to see. I like a lot of the changes. Frozen Heart is good. The Deathblade buff has me super hyped. Can't wait to stack triple Deathblade. I'm still like livid about this. Get it right. Like, is it thieves' gloves? Like multiple thieves? Or is it a single thief's pair of gloves? Get it right. Alright, thank you guys for watching. I'll be live on my stream every day. Hope you tune in.